Everyone, ODC here. Hopefully, everybody can hear me okay. Good afternoon. I know there's probably a lot of people at work and such. It's 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Um, this is something I wanted to discuss, but I wanted pretty much to discuss. I wanted it to marinate for 24 hours. I'll probably have a different opinion on it on all of these a little bit probably later in the process, especially the HASLAB situation. But I wanted to do this video just kind of discussing the HASLAB GI Joe Firefly and the new Marvel Legends wave that was just revealed via IGN. Now, all the images I'm going to show are via IGN. That'll be discussing the Marvel Legends, which we're going to go through first, and then we'll go through the HasLab thing, what I think about it, all that jazz. So let's not waste any more time. Let's get to the Marvel Legends reveals here. Let me just screen share really quick, and we'll get to that. Sorry, I'm like really out of it. Today's my day off, so I am a bit groggy, to say the least, this afternoon. But here is the the movie wave. And feel free to comment in the chat as much as you guys want. We can discuss all this stuff, but I have some stuff to say about this wave. I don't really plan on seeing the movie. I'm not really that invested in the movie all that much. It's just characters I just don't really necessarily care for. I would say I care the most about Monica Rambeau than the other two. So, but here is the wave, and like I said, all these images are via IGN.com. You can see it right there. So there's the obligatory product sharing, I guess. Kudos. Anyway, I digress. Here is the Captain Marvel Breechies figure. That's the design. She went back to long hair after having that terrible short haircut. I don't know. I mean, it's a movie figure. It's going to get the most love out of between the comic book figures and the movie figures. It's going to they just get more tooling, more new sculpt work. It's just the way it is. The movies just kind of keep everything afloat. I'm not seeing any accessories here for her, so if you are interested in her, I don't know. It didn't say. I'm just going based off the images, and I'm guessing she comes with these. Then those would be the accessories. That's it. If that's it, that's pretty terrible right there. It just keeps they keep taking. It's like they keep taking accessories away. No, I don't even know if does she come with extra hands. Let's see. She's got an open hand and a closed hand there. Yeah, I think that's it, man. That is pretty whack if that's all she comes with. I mean, like, I'm not into movie figures, so I'm like all these movie figures I'm going to pass on, but including the Bath, which is movie Hulk. But moving on to actually, there's the back of the packaging. I should probably do that, right? I should probably try and see if I can zoom in as much as possible too. Boom, boom. That's not really doing anything, is it? I don't get this. Zoom is not like. Yeah, this zoom is whack. All right. So we'll just have to continue the way we're doing it. This Commander Steve Rogers, man, I don't know. It's not looking so good. It's not looking so good. He's got some new tooling. I'm pretty sure he's on an older body. I think this is still I want to say the X. No, I think it's a Grim Reaper body mold still, because there's no butterfly joints. He's got pins. You can see the pins on his legs. He's got pins on his arms too. So it's an older body. I think there's just new tooling. Like this is a separate piece right here. That's a separate floating piece. Obviously, these are floating. He never wore his photon shield on his back, so I don't know why they have a photon shield on his back. That should be on his wrist only. The boots are newly sculpted or tooled. The head, which we're gonna get to the head. The head, oh my god, the head looks. Zorpox, what's going on, buddy? Stick around, man. We got a lot to talk about here. Yeah, the head looks like Philip Seymour Hoffman. It doesn't look anything like Cap. I don't know what they're doing here with this head. It looks bad. It looks, I don't know. I don't like it at all. I think if I do get this, which I'll probably wait for clearance. I mean, it's a nice update from the older version, but I don't know, man. I think if you got the older version, you may want to just keep that one. I I don't like that head at all. Maybe if you take the 20th anniversary Cap head and put it on this body, hopefully it fits. Maybe that'll work for you. But I really don't like this head sculpt at all. It looks awful. It looks like Philip Seymour Hoffman. And, all due respect and rest in peace, Philip Seymour Hoffman, who's a great actor. He just doesn't look like Captain America to me. Or Commander Steve Rogers, excuse me. So I don't know. This is the poops right here. They really screwed up his face, I think. But he just comes with his photon shield. Here they have it not even as a photon shield. It's just a regular shield. Oh boy. And he just comes with the head of movie Hulk. Wow, they're really giving you the bare bones nowadays. They don't want to give you anything extra. Lot of we got I think this is the return, or I don't know too much about this. They should have just done. I wish they would have done the Thorbuster armor here, which it looks similar to this, but yeah, I'm not. I don't know. I'm not feeling this either. This is just another Iron Man to me. It doesn't do too much. I mean, there's way more sculpting on him that's new. I want to say we're still working off the old Iron Man body with the pins right here. The sculpting on him does look good. I don't have an issue with that objectively. Heroes Return Iron Man. I don't know too much about this version of Iron Man, so if someone wants to let me know in the comments below, that would be helpful. But I want to say the new tooling that they did on the sides here, on the shoulders, looks good for the most part. It seems like they always do Iron Man good. They always do him justice as far as like whenever there's new tooling, new sculpting needed. Still, to this day, my favorite Iron Man will be the modular Ursa Major wave Iron Man. I think that's the one that always resonated with me when I started reading Iron Man comics. To be honest with you, was I want to say the 90s, early 90s. So, but yeah, there is the Iron Man figure. And moving on, who do we have? Marvel Boy. Now, this is a more modern Marvel Boy. I don't have an issue with it. I mean, I might pick this up. This might be another one of those discount figures. Wait for the discount figure things. Same thing with I'm probably going to pass on the Iron Man, and I'm probably going to wait on that Commander Steve Rogers. I don't know. I mean, there's not a lot of sculpting going on here. It's very kind of bare bones. The Head sculpt looks all right. I mean, they keep doing these like thick ass like jaw lines, like they're like puffed out. They look like hamsters for some reason. But it just looks kind of weird to me. I don't know. I don't know how much I'm feeling this, but they do have new sculpting for I think these what you call it? His blasters. I'm not too familiar with this version of Marvel Boy either. I would have preferred a more classic look for me. That's just me. Um I don't know. I'll have to do some reading up on this version of Marvel Boy, but I mean, I guess it's nice to have another cosmic character. I won't say nah to that, you know, but I don't know. It looks kind of bare bones. Like I said, a lot of these Marvel Legends nowadays, they just feel so bare bones. It's kind of it's really hard to justify that price, especially for the comic book figures that don't get barely any new sculpting on their designs. Like these lines on his suit, like this is a suit. They should at least sculpt the lines on here, but they don't want to do that. They haven't been wanting to do that for years, which is a shame because I wish that they would put more TLC into some of the comic book figures. It's a shame. I like the little little hair dewdrop right here, little dewdrop right there. But it looks cool. Like I said, he just comes with his two pistols or blasters or whatever you want to call them, and then just the arm and the hand of a Build-A-Figure. Like this is what we're getting now in 2023 is the bare minimum, the absolute bare minimum. It's a shame. Like no wonder Marvel Legends will keep going on sale. Next up is Karnak. This is probably my one of the most wanted. I wouldn't say in my own internal list. I wanted more Inhumans. I just want to fill out as much as we can. We can get we're never going to get an Inhumans wave. I think that ship has long past sailed. But I was actually hoping for another Fantastic Four wave, and we could continue to, give out more of those Inhuman characters that were maybe involved with the original toy line from back in the 90s. So that would have been cool if they could have added that in. But now that we're seeing Karnak in a movie wave, I'm starting to think that Fantastic Four retro wave isn't coming back anytime soon either, which is another shame because I mean they could have done a Build-A-Figure Annihilus with the retro carded wave, and that would have been nice and included I don't know, cell shaded, because if you watch the Fantastic Four original series from the 90s, that like the beginning of the series, it started off with more flat coloring. They had more traditional look, and then towards the end where they changed the intro and the intro song, and then they changed that heavily shaded look, kind of similar to X-Men. A lot of people say Batman the Animated Series, but it's not anywhere close to Batman the Animated Series. It looks more like X-Men the Animated Series, where they had that heavy shading going on the bodies. They also, I think, did it with Silver Surfer, that kind of animation, and they also did it heavily with Spider-Man Unlimited, that kind of heavy dark shading on one half of the body here and there. So they could go that route with a Fantastic Four wave, but I don't know. Maybe they're holding off for the movie. So I don't know. But Karnak here, like I said, he was big on my list. It's a shame that he's on an old body. Like they're using a lot of old bodies here, except for the movie figures, clearly. But this is the Spider-Man body. Like where are we? What are we doing here, man? Like, come on. I mean, I get he's supposed to be on a skinnier, thinner body, but I mean, we could do better than this at this point. I mean, I'm gonna probably get this is probably the only one I really, really, really want out of the wave. So I'll probably, get him. but he's not worth $25. Like I think he might just he better come with like multiple hands. He comes with like he should come with like 6 or 7 hands. He should be like Shang-Chi. Like he should be coming with a ton of different hands. I don't know, just the way his power set is, and like being able to find the weakest point of anything, and attacking that. Like he should be coming with a whole bunch of hands. I don't know. It's just kind of it's a shame. It's a shame. That's all I'm gonna say. So moving on, then, and there's Karnak again in the windowless packaging, which is going to be gone next year. Thank God. Moving on to Miss Marvel. Like I said, this doesn't really do anything for me. The sculpt on it looks really good. Looks accurate. I haven't seen any of the show. I have not. I don't plan on seeing this movie. To be honest with you, it does nothing. It does nothing for me. I would have preferred just a photon movie if you wanted to do that. But that's just me. I think Monica Rambeau is more interesting character than Carol Danvers or the new Miss Marvel. But again, with this stupid, I think it's like a cat that scratched Nick Fury's eye. That was another terrible moment in Marvel Cinematic Universe history. But that's the accessory she comes with, and you can tell that's all new sculpt. She's got an open hand and a fist hand. I don't know if you're getting much more than that. No. Oh no, you get the most with her. I want to say you get the little whatever animal that is with the tentacles coming out of its mouth, which is weird. And you get a Build-A-Figure piece and 2 open hands and 2 fist hands. I am shocked that they didn't give her the extendable arms or anything. Like what the hell is that about? They've done that with all the other Miss Marvel figures. Why didn't they do that? I mean, I gotta stop asking these questions because it's Hasbro. They do things that don't make sense. Next, I want to say the best in the wave is probably Photon Monica Rambeau. I think she looks the most unique. Carol Danvers looks boring as usual. Her character is, and this one I like the head sculpt. The head sculpt looks really good on this. The suit looks really crisp and clean. Like I said, these are all renders. I think it's closer to the final product. I want to take a closer look and see. She's all pinless, man. This is a really nice movie figure. I don't have a photon figure. This is actually kind of tempting here with this, just because of the amount of detail and such. It's not exactly how the the comic book version of her. She comes with like a long kind of like coat. But this is nice sculpting, nice tooling on here. As far as especially the boots go, they kind of like poke out a little bit. It looks good, I think. She's got double jointed knees and elbows. Does she have a friggin' butterfly joint? I can't tell. I got to bring her in closer. No butterfly joint or anything like that. But I want to say she's probably the best out of the 3 for me, at least. So if I were to consider getting one movie figure, it would probably be her. But I'm still gonna wait for a comic book photon. So she comes with just fist hands and then the leg of the Build-A-Figure Hulk, which will probably be right here. Yeah, this doesn't really, like I said, this yet again, doesn't really do too much for me. Brian King, what's going on, buddy? I'm sure there's a lot of MCU collectors out there that are probably like maybe nipping at the bud to get some of these. So maybe this does something for other collectors. That's great. It just doesn't. I just don't. This isn't a selling point for me. So, like I said, I think for me personally, I'm just going to get. I almost said Photon. I'm just going to get Karnak out of this and call it a day. But that is the wave. So, what do you guys think in the chat below? Do you guys like this wave? What do you think down yonder? Like I said, I'll kind of just. I wish I had the whole wave. I wish they showed the whole wave of figures next to each other. I want to say the weakest one is probably Carol out of the movie figures, and then out of the comic book ones is probably. It's probably maybe Marvel Boy is probably the weakest. Except Comic X-Men, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's Marvel Legends, like I said. It looks meh, yeah. Yeah. Cap too, yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, that's like I said, if you guys want to check out the photos, you can check them out on IGN. Go for it. And I'm going to move on to the HASLAB Dragonfly. There we go. Move on to that. We're bringing up the HASLABer. All right. So, okie doke. Why do you need to know where I am, Hasbro? That's weird. All right, so here is. I'm going to bring this in. There we go. All right, let's go into here. So we've got the Operation Dragonfly. This I think was leaked last year. I think someone that was kicked off the team got all upset and like leaked this like middle of last year, something like that. So I don't know. Personally, I was kind of hoping for a Mobat just because I thought it made sense to go against the His tank, but you know, it's fine. It's whatever. They're doing clearly they're going to do a theme land, sea, or land, air, and sea. Land, sea, and air. I always put those in order that way. So maybe next year we'll get like I don't know, like a Cobra water moccasin, or we'll get something crazy like a friggin' killer whale, which I think that would just cost way too much money to do. They'll probably do something smaller like a water moccasin. Seeing as they did a Cobra and then a Joe, and then they'll probably do Cobra and then a Joe. I don't know. So some people are actually asking for HASLAB twice a year. And I was like, bro, do you know how expensive these are? Like for asking people to do this twice a year, like that's kind of rough. Like you would be taking away a lot of money from other things that you would probably be in, wanting collection wise. But anyway, here is the price at $274. I'm gonna nip this in the bud right now. $274. I was expecting over 300. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I said the His tank. I was telling myself the His tank was 300 last year, and that was kind of really pushing it. And it's almost fully backed, by the way. Look at this craziness. This is crazy. It's definitely going to meet all three tiers. There's no way that they go. This is clearly going to meet the goal at 41 with 41 days left. I can't imagine with 41 days left that you don't get past 19,000 backers. I would be baffled. But anyway, the price is actually a lot better than I thought they were going to do. I thought they were going to get really greedy and go over 300 for it. It's 2.5 feet in length. It is huge, this thing. It does come with what looks to be a really nice display stand. It comes with Wild Bill. Obviously, we'll get to all that. The price, like I said, I still think it's a little overpriced. I feel like 250 would have made more sense. If you look up and you can look it up yourself. If you look up the old TIE Fighter, and I understand the TIE Fighter was a failure. It was a complete failure. The only reason I'm comparing it to the TIE Fighter is because of how big it was, what it seated, and what it went for retail, which was $170. And I know that because I actually used to work part-time at Toys R Us at the time that was being sold. It did end up, I think people were getting them for like $40 at one point. So, and regardless of that, but what it was sold for, if you type that into the inflation calculator of 15 or 16 to now, I think it comes out to about what, and the TIE Fighter's big. I want to say it's bigger. I think it's bigger than this. I have one, and I would say it's not here, but the TIE Fighter could hold up like a damn table. It was huge. It's fully funded. Let's refresh. I wouldn't doubt that it's fully funded. Yeah, it's fully funded now. That's crazy. I mean that's, hey, that is awesome. See, now this is the point, and I do want to finish what I was saying. Let me fix this so I can see chat better. Sorry, guys. Just bear with me here, and girls. It's 350 euros here in Germany. Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot of money for you guys over there. Sorry to hear that, Richie M. Yeah, thank you for the updates, guys. I appreciate that, Brian King and the Sith Fire 30. I don't have a problem with this price. Like I said, I still objectively, I think it's overpriced. I think 250 would be better, but you are getting 4 figures with it. Some people are like, "Oh, you get 4 figures with it, but it only seats 2," and I'm like, "Who gives a shit about that? Like, who cares? Are you going to complain about getting 4 figures? Like what?" So I don't know. I've heard that complaint already, and I'm just like, "Yeah, that doesn't hold water. Nice try. Move on." So I don't know. Personally, I think this is, if you get all the tiers, this is one that you could consider being worth it. Now, at $25 per figure, let's break this down. That's 20, 40, 60, or 20. That's $100. If you take $100 off of this, it would be about 100 and, oh my God, my math is so bad. It would be about $175. If you take $100 off of this, $175. That's around what the TIE Fighter cost, but that was with a pilot. So I want to say, if you break down the math, it kind of makes sense. Like I said, it's just a hair overpriced. I want to say if they took another like $15, $20 off of this, if it was at 250, and then you do the math properly. But like I said, it's only really worth it if you get all the tiers. I want to say if this is at retail for 274 and it just comes with Wild Bill, I'm going to wait for a sale. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm absolutely positively waiting for a sale. It's a really nice set. It is. It comes with a ton of stuff. You don't have to unlock like you did with the HISS tank a bunch of like missiles and missile launchers and nonsense that they did with the HISS tank. The HISS tank should have just given a bunch of figures, like 5 figures. I would have done with the HISS tank. That's just me. I would have done that. I would have included all of the accoutrement with the HISS tank itself, and then given off the 5 figures to equal out the 300. But also you have to keep in mind the HISS tank does store more figures. Yeah, I think the HISS tank, you can put a driver, there's a gunner, there's 2 in the back of the HISS tank itself, and then there's pegs on the back of the HISS tank. So like 5 or 6 figures you can fit on that. Where in here, it really is, you're only getting 2 figures in there. That's it. You get the nice flight stand, which I think is cool. I think display stands with each figure would make sense too. That would be a nice little touch You can put like HASLAB Dragonfly with a little figure stand for each. That's just a nice little kind of like extra thing that you can do. Now, display stands are the most important thing, but I also think with a HasLab, you should include file cards. I know file cards aren't important to anybody. We all know the story of these characters, but I think it's just a cool thing to do with maybe something like this. If they don't want to do file cards with everybody else, but then I guess you're telling yourself, well, why would only these have file cards and none of the other figures? Which I think all the figures should have file cards, but that's just me. I can't justify the price, even though it's very cool. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's not going to be for everybody. It's not going to be for everybody, and I completely understand if people don't like the price. Still, it's on the cheaper side for a HasLab for what HasLabs have been in the past. I was absolutely expecting this to be way more expensive, like over three. I mean, the friggin' Engines of Vengeance that came with less wanted 350. Like that's absurd. Like this I think at least you can sum it up to what your and this is it on the stand. I think it's cool that you have this flight stand. I think clearly it needs it. I think because I mean I don't personally want a 2.5 foot helicopter hanging over my head with some sort of hanging arrangement. That's just not what I would want. Um, it also would have been cool if they could have included some sort of like little like foot pegs or something, or like if you could wrap the figures around and little stands and connect it to the display stand for the Dragonfly. What's going on? And thank you, Star Wars Squawk Box, I think that is. SKE Skew Raider. Sorry, I'm saying names wrong. I'm sorry. I apologize. Woodman, what's going on, buddy? You planning on getting one of these? It's asking me to please agree to the terms. uh, I have not funded this. Like I said, I'm going to let this marinate a while before I consider it. Like I said, it does look really good. I'm not gonna BS. I mean, there's a lot more to it than just like missile effects and stuff like that. I mean, there's gun effects. There are foot pegs for the landing rails or whatever they're called. I'm sure there's some sort of technical term. Somebody will correct me. I'm interested to see how the propellers spin. I'm kind of want to see the functionality of this thing a little bit. I like the two tones of it though. I like the green, the nice olive drab with the black. I think that looks really good. I like all the ordnance that it does come with. That's pretty cool. I like the fact that you have your. I don't know if these are stickers. I think the cockpit lights up. I want to say. I can't remember what they said in the stream. I'm not going to go through the stream and do all that. That's just a bunch of nonsense. But over 2.5 feet long. And I do want to say this, like I said, let me see what Woodman said really quick. Oh, thank you, Star Wars. I appreciate that, buddy. Yeah, be sure to hit the like button if you guys are enjoying the stream. I would like to get it, but it's huge. I'm considering though. Yeah, I mean, I'm considering it too. At 274, I'm considering it. I mean, I got the friggin' Galactus, so there's one. But I guess that was kind of a different story. The price was also a different story. Backed, hit the like button. May jive turkeys find in reviews continued forever. Oh, there will always be jive turkeys. Don't worry there, Raider. Always jive turkeys. 316.05 probably with shipping. Yeah, I mean, if you're a Hasbro Pulse member, the shipping's free. You still have to pay tax. I don't. That's gonna differentiate between states, but yeah, the cockpit does light up. Thank you, Zorpox. I appreciate that, buddy. Um, I mean, like I said, the chopper looks good. Like I said, Wild Bill. Let's take a look at the Wild Bill. I think he looks really good, man. I think they did a really good job on him. I like the newly tooled body. It's an all newly tooled body. The whole body is brand new mold. They're still doing the hair pieces, which I'm starting to get used to. I think it what like when I think of I don't know. Still, personally, I would just prefer two different head sculpts. Um, I get it though. Like if you put the hair on, or if you have a removable hat with hair, it kind of squishes the hair with the hat, or it makes the hat look too big. It's one of the two, so it's a give or take. Um, but I think you can remove the vest and you can remove the belt from him. They show it separately on him and off of him. So, and I think that's due to him trying to fit into the cockpit. And I also want to see how these figures fit and how well they fit into the cockpit area. That I do want to see. He comes with a knife, his two 6-shooters, which it looks good. I don't have a problem with it. His hat looks good. Don't have an issue there. Um, I haven't really had an issue with any of the hair pieces fitting on. I want to say Lady J's was kind of one of the first ones that they did, so it was kind of a little wonky, the fitment, but um 2407 Brian King says 2407 with tax. Ouch. Yeah, I mean it's a $300. It's almost a $300 item. It's gonna be high in taxes, depending on your state. You know, some don't have any state tax. So, um, but I mean, the amount of detail here. I think it's pretty cool. Oh, and they put this like chips and salsa on the friggin' rocket launcher, which I think is kind of funny. Nice little touch. Um, because you can't have chips without any salsa. I like the attention to detail here with the ammunition kind of being belt fed down into the actual um, gun itself. So that's pretty cool. I like that a lot, actually. That looks really good. They did a good job with that. I kind of wish that we could see more photos of like the engine compartments and stuff like that. Like that's stuff I like looking at. And I'll say this: it's going to be tough for me to say no to this, and I know a lot of people will disagree with that, but I am a huge fan of anything helicopter. So I was really holding out hope that they would do a tomahawk. A tomahawk would be like huge. It would probably be like 4 feet. It would have to hold multiple figures in it. But that's my favorite GI Joe vehicle ever is the tomahawk. I think it's always been the tomahawk. It was like one of the things I had as a kid. Um, I did have a dragonfly, but it kind of fell apart on me when I was a kid, so it doesn't have that same oomph that the tomahawk did. Um, but I mean, this is definitely nice, and I think it's got a nice little bit of an update here and there. Like it doesn't take away too much from the original design. It is a little bit of an update, which is cool. The interior, like I said, does look really good. I mean, that does look cool. The fact that it has, I want to go back. No, I want to go back. So, or we're going forward, I guess. The detail or decals, excuse me, are I get. They said they're gonna be stickered. I I'm gonna tell you guys right now, guys. I don't like sticker sheets. I hate them. They never stay on the figure or the vehicle like you want them to. So I might end up passing on a lot of the stickers unless there's something simple like this Dragonfly logo right here, something like that. It does say Lieutenant W.S. Wild Bill Hardy on there, so that's pretty cool. This is why I can cut back on all the other stuff. I was collecting Texas tax. Yeah. Yeah. Do I have a tomahawk now, buddy? Oh yeah, I have a couple tomahawks. I love the tomahawk. It's like I said, my favorite. I think I have my childhood tomahawk. It's just, it's in storage. And it went through a lot of playtime when I was a kid. If I could have brought the tomahawk everywhere, I would have brought it everywhere with me. But I think for this choice, I think this is a nice kind of. They're trying to I think they're trying to ease you in to they're doing flying vehicles, like they're doing something different. I mean, they could have went with the Mobat, and that would have been the safe pick, I think, because it's a lot. I feel like it's a lot easier to sell something like a tank because it's grounded. It doesn't have to, hang or do anything. Like this was more of the risk, I think. I'm sure a lot of people wanted this, but I feel like it's more of the risk doing a flying thing than a rolling thing because the rolling thing is much easier to display. But having the display stand makes it easier to sell, I think. So yeah, I mean, it comes with a ton of stuff. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and complain about it, anything really. I mean, there's nothing really all that much to complain about. I'm trying to think. There not only does the cockpit light up, but I believe some of the ordinances actually light up too. I want to say the front guns light up too. I'll have to look over here or down here. And that's everything he comes with. It comes with a ton of stuff. I wonder which airborne they will do, OG or tune. I don't think they'll do any cartoon stuff, Brian King. I think that they'll stick to what they're doing here. Uh, I think that they have to do. They absolutely have to do. That's why I was so surprised they actually um, decided on Ripcord, the Night Force Ripcord, for the first tier unlock, because I feel like that should be, airborne. Airborne's one of my favorite characters from GI Joe. He's one of the first figures I ever had. Um, I actually turned Condor into Airborne. If you guys have been following my channel for any length of time, but the stretch goals, like I said, here's the stretch goals. We got Night Force Airborne or Night Force. That's what I think we'll get is Night Force Airborne is what I'm trying to say for one of these other two tiers right here. Some people seem to think that because they have the silhouette of a steel core trooper that's what we're getting. We're not getting that. I promise you. I promise you these are going to be two more Joe characters in Night Force theme. They've already gone Night Force theme with the new Target or Walmart exclusives, and now they're going to go Night Force theme with the rest. That's kind of the theme I think this year is they're going to give you as much Night Force as possible. If they were smart, I would go. They already went Ripcord, which I don't have a problem with. What you call it? I would go Night Force Airborne, even though there wasn't a Night Force Airborne, and I would go Night Force Crazy Legs. I think it just makes sense. Uh, I could see them going Night Force Crazy Legs, and maybe the last tier is Airborne to really sell it off because that was he was originally seen in the as the gunner in the Dragonfly artwork, the original one. So I could see them doing something like that, trying to sell the 19,000 orders. Like I said, I don't think that there's I don't think that there's even a 1% a 1% chance that this thing doesn't make 19,000. I just don't, I can't see it not making all of the tiers. I would be shocked if it doesn't, because I think a lot of people thought this was going to be like $350. And if that was the case, then it would be a huge no, an easy no from a lot of people. But yeah, Brian, I think that they'll do Night Force. Um, let's see if they'll let me click on it now. Okay, let's just continue down here. Here we go. The figure of Ripcord, I think, looks pretty good. It's nice that he comes with two different assault rifles. I think this is supposed to signify, because it looks, yeah, I mean, they are different. They have different grips on them. I was maybe assuming maybe they'll do a folding stock for if they do Crazy Legs, Night Force Crazy Legs, because they're going to release a regular Crazy Legs. He's just too popular of a, I think, a fan character. People want Crazy Legs for the most part. He's not everybody's cup of tea. I get it. A lot of people think Crazy Legs is stupid, but personally, I think that I like the shoot. Like I said, they're using this newly tooled body. I think it's the exact same one as Wild Bill, but it works. I mean, it's a flight suit. He's a paratrooper, so it makes sense. They went with this like old Nerf gun pistol for him. I don't know if I necessarily like that, but it's whatever. It's just a pistol. I can replace it with something else, Uh, but I like this. I like that it comes with attachments. It comes with magazines for the assault rifles. It comes with different grips, so you can give them, one with a close quarters combat scope, or you can give him a long range scope with a hush puppy. He's got goggles. He's got the halo jumper attachments with the helmet, which looks pretty good. I like that. I'm hoping that this piece actually plugs in and doesn't just hang separately. But I want to say the harness looks really good, well done. I'm hoping it's more of a really gummy plastic, because you really want to be able to move his legs. That was kind of the issue that we had with some of the 30th anniversary figures, is that the ones with harnesses, you couldn't really move them all that much. Like, it was a harder plastic. I'm hoping that they do not a hard plastic for the harness, and they really are allowed to move. This is another thing I'm hoping for. The backpack is probably just going to peg right onto his back, which I think makes sense. Um, yeah, I think it looks good. I like it quite a bit. I'm maybe I wouldn't mind a free fall too. Yeah, but I definitely free fall or Crazy Legs, I think, should be in there. I mean, you have to have Airborne in this. Airborne has to be attached to this somehow. That's why I still think that he should have been the first one, and then, if you want to do Ripcord after that, which to me, I think Ripcord makes more sense if you just do them in the main line first and then do a different version of them later. But because a lot of people are going to want a Ripcord, he'll sell on his own. I'm assuming we're probably going to get whatever we get here, Night Force wise. We're clearly going to get regular releases because they've already been tooled. They're just a different color. All they have to do is recolor them. It's an easy sell. Same thing for Airborne. So, I wouldn't mind an Airborne and a Doc too. That wouldn't be too bad. They do Airborne and Doc. I think it'll do over 20,000. Oh yeah, easily, easily. It will, because people want those characters. I think they're going to wait to do Airborne last, though. I think you're going to get another paratrooper, and then you'll get Airborne. Well, he's just paratrooper too, but um, yeah, I don't know. I always put Airborne on the Tomahawk. I always thought he worked better on the Tomahawk as opposed to being with the Dragonfly. That's just me, maybe. But 20,000, yeah, I definitely think 20,000 will happen. I don't think there's any ifs, ands, or buts about it. There is scale wise, from person to I mean it's big. Like this thing's long. I'm actually seeing a lot of negativity about the thing. They're calling it like some people are calling it like a toothpick, and I'm just like, I don't think it looks like toothpicky. I don't know where they're getting that information from, but or the idea of that. But I think the classifieds is clearly the best thing Hasbro has coming out. The classifieds line is the best toy line from Hasbro without a doubt right now. Like the last 2 years, they've been just killing it, absolutely killing it with a lot of releases. It's hard to say no to this line now. Like when it first came out, I was like, oh, it's an easy no. And I waited and waited and waited and got a lot of figures on sale. I'm not going to lie. Like the majority of the figures I have are figures that are on sale. It's just the way I view a lot of Hasbro products. But this like I said, this is going to be if all the tiers are unlocked, it's going to be hard to say no to this. So, but I'm going to wait. I'm definitely going to wait and gain perspective. And it looks good though. I got to say they did a really good job on this. They did a very good job on this. So, kudos to the Hasbro GI Joe Classifieds team. I don't always agree with Emily. I'm not a big fan of Emily. Um, I think Lenny really cares. I think there's times where I see designs being used from other toy lines from the past, kind of thrown in here, but you know, it's. Oh, you can actually see the engine compartment here a little bit right there, so that looks cool. And the inner workings. That's what I like to see. I've always liked to see like the inner workings. So now you can get somebody like CoverGirl working on this. Um, this is starting to build more world building. I guess build more world. That sounds weird. Starting to give collectors more can't talk. More world building. There we go. Get it out. Let's have a sip of water. The water's all the way over there. Never mind. I'm gonna go to the chat really quick. Let me just get some. Let me get a photo up here, so there's not. You guys are staring at absolutely nothing. I would like to play the video, but it'll probably get like copyright stricken or something. Let's go to the chat really quick. Don't worry, I haven't not been paying attention to the chat, so don't worry about that. All right. Brian says, I hope he gets a tall rotor. That always bugged me as a kid. No tall rotor in the helicopter. Yeah. Yeah. I could see that. I mean, I think what you're getting here is what you're going to be getting. Let me go back here really quick. Like what you see here is what you're going to get. Pretty much. I think this is closest to the final product. I think that's tall enough. That should be tall enough. I mean, you don't want to go too tall. That's gonna be like way up here and look a little awkward. I think that's about the right height, right? For the rotor? I mean, it's definitely taller, personally. I'm trying to think what else could we what else who else could we assume that would come with the Dragonfly? What would the other two be? Now you got to assume. So let's take one away. Airborne's going to be one. What would the third one be? Like I said, we guessed Free Fall already. We guessed Doc. I think Doc's too much of a mainstay character to really throw in here. I guessed Crazy Legs, Night Force Crazy Legs, because it just makes sense, and he was in the Night Force line too, so it would make sense to just do that figure. Um, I'm trying to think who else as I look at my Joes over here. Some people were saying Lifeline. Like I said, yet again, I think Lifeline, he's too much of a regular regular release character. And if they do him, I hope they do him like they did the 30th anniversary Lifeline with like all of that, all those accessories that he came with would have been awesome. It doesn't have a tall rotor. It wouldn't fly it in the real world. Wouldn't that rotor be considered tall enough? Maybe. I mean, I don't know. I don't know too much about all of that. I would eventually like to learn how to fly a helicopter, and I will have to learn all of that. But that's you know that's that's one of those bucket list things that I would love to do. I've been up like just obsessed with tail rear. I can't. My God, I gotta take some water. I get some water. Rear rotor. I see what you mean. It doesn't have a tail rotor. Okay, gotcha. Yeah. I know what you mean. Did the original Dragonfly? I don't remember the original Dragonfly having the. I don't think it had a rear. Did it have a rear rotor? I don't have my Dragonfly here with me, so it's yet again in storage because I have no room for anything. Uh-huh. Yeah, the original Dragonfly didn't have a rear rotor either, so I think that's what they're pretty much going off of. I don't even know if. Let's see here. Yeah, the like I think that was just a part of the original design. It didn't have a rear rotor. It should realistically. Apaches have rear rotors, so and they do have tall. Some Apaches have tall front rotors too. So depending on which you're talking about, but from what I'm seeing right here, some of them have short ones, some of them have tall ones, but they definitely. I'm not seeing one that doesn't have a rear rotor. I don't think that's how it makes sense because it's drag versus lift. So yeah, you kind of have to have that. Yeah, yeah, I could see that where maybe that's like a nitpick for people. The 118 scale did not have one. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yep. So I think that's what they were going for. They're just going for the original design and update it a little bit here and there. I'm also interested to see how the harnesses, the safety harnesses inside the cockpit, how well those work. Like this is stuff that people need to kind of know how things are going to function. This is why I wish with HASLAB products that they had like a fully functional version that was done. So you could show people what it can and can't do. You know, that's kind of what I wish would happen. That and I feel like you just show all the tiers to begin with. I feel like this revealing tiers slowly but surely thing, it doesn't really work. I think it's outdated. I get from a marketing standpoint. Sorry, I bumped the microphone. I think I get it from a marketing standpoint. You want to build hype and stuff like that, and like. But I think if you show all of the tiers, people are going to either buy it, regardless of whether you don't show the tiers here and there, I feel like if you show the tiers, they're going to want it more. You know, because most people want to see the whole kit and caboodle before they buy something. It'd be like you go into a car dealership and they're like, "Oh, we have all these extra add-ons that we're going to throw in with the car, but we're not going to tell you what they are yet." It's like, wait, what? No, that's not how that works. You got to show me everything. Are you going to give me all season floor mats? Are you going to give me a trunk mat, an all season trunk mat? Are you going to give me, you know, GPS? Are you going to give me a sunroof? Does it come with, you know, extra rims or tires? This is all stuff that you would want to know before you're buying something. So I know I'm comparing apples and oranges, a friggin' car to a toy, but you know, the point gets across. Like I said, over 2.5 feet in length, which is huge. It is technically, if you were to lay down Galactus, this is longer, or yeah, longer than Galactus. So, or in length, it would be taller than Galactus. Um, in actual height, it's not, because this is a flat vehicle, and that is a really big action figure. Um, it's only 11, just over 11 inches in height. So it's definitely going to take up a lot of real estate. That's kind of the other thing that has me on the fence, is the real estate, you know. So let's see if I can turn the volume down on this. Let's just preemptively turn the volume off, because I know they're going to put some sort of. All right, so that's how the rotors spin. Okay. I mean, that's fine for me. I don't know. I think that looks fine. It is kind of weird they don't have a rear rotor, now that I'm staring at that more and more. It's like it's just only going to go up. Whatever. It's fine. I'm not gonna start sitting here doing that. But yeah, I don't know. Overall, I feel like I'm just repeating myself at this point. Overall, I think this is it's a wait and see for me. I'm sure for a lot of people, they've already either gone in on it, and that's great. It's already met its goal of 10,000. I want to see all the tiers before I would even make a decision on something like this, and I would want all the tiers to be unlocked before I even made a decision on this. So I'm gonna wait it out. There, I'm in no rush. Also, the Valaverse vehicle is going to be announced soon, and that's going to be probably really soon. It's probably going to be this weekend at Joe Fest. So, so I don't know. There's That's going to be happening soon. Um, so maybe you want to wait to see, or if you got money like that, you could just go, hey, I'm just going to buy both. You could do that too, if that's in the pipeline for you. But yeah, I don't necessarily have too much negative to say. Like I've said, objectively, I will just say it's a really nice set. I hope everybody gets all the tiers. Um, it's already been fully funded, just the way it is, base set. Um, until they get to 13,000, then they'll be what you call it, set at this stage right here at the 10,000. I would like to see, like I said, I'm kind of intrigued to see the other two figures, and hopefully they don't goof and not put Airborne in here. Um, that I mean, the ball's in their corner. Woodman says, I'm with you on waiting to see the unlocks before I pull the trigger. Yeah, I think that makes the most sense. There's nothing wrong with liking a Hasbro product. You can like a Hasbro product. Um, there's, there's, I don't think there's anything wrong with liking a HasLab product if it makes sense. It's got to make sense. I don't like the way that it's set up. I still don't for a big company, but you know, I feel like if people saw this retail, I feel like people would buy it. I just I can kind of understand. Like it is huge. It is a huge thing. It's 2.5 feet in length. It's going to take up a lot of space. It would be kind of difficult to sell at retail, but if you did like fan channel exclusive, something like that, I feel like it would sell. It would absolutely sell. This is definitely the better price point, and you're getting way more value out of this than the friggin' McFarlane Batwing. I'll tell you that. At $250, this is a little bit more, and you can essentially get 4 figures with it, and all of these accessories and light up features and things that move and work. This is definitely way the better deal. Like it's not even a thought. Like the Batwing was supposed to hold 3 people. It only holds one. It doesn't do anything. It comes with a display base, and that's about it. And we've got Mr. I'm not sure how to say the first name. I'll just call you Blutwolf. Ein Blutwolf. What's going on, man? How you doing? Welcome to the stream. Hello. He says, I think the canopy with the multiple hinge points are a bad idea. What? So you don't like the gull wing? I mean, I understand where you're coming from with that. I mean, it does, multiple canopy points means multiple points for possible snappage and breakage. I totally understand that. I can totally understand that point. He's got a good point. As opposed to the canopy just opening up the normal way. But I feel like most canopies in general are kind of a tough thing to do. It's mostly clear plastic for the most part, unless you do a heavier plastic. And I feel like the more you open and close anything, it's gonna bust, it's gonna break. So, but yeah, I know what you're getting at, and I appreciate you saying that. Brian King says the fan channel for the what was this Wolverine and water moccasin. Yeah, they could do that. I think yeah, that's actually my prediction for next year's HasLab would be they've already gone land and now they've gone air and then they'll go sea next year. Um Possibly Cobra, possibly GI Joe, we don't know. So, if it were up to me, I would go Cobra because you want the Joes to be outnumbered still. You want to have more offerings for Cobra, a little bit more than you do GI Joe. But at the end of the day, I personally would prefer to collect an equal amount, but have more troops for Cobra. Um, Woodman says, I don't know about you guys, but space is a premium for me when buying stuff. Oh, of course. Space is always the ongoing issue for most people when it comes to collecting. I mean, I've been collecting for 30 years and it's not easy. I mean, my whole collection's in a small bedroom. So, and the rest of my collection's still in Buffalo in storage. I've got another half of my half collection that's here in South Carolina in storage too, so I can't display everything I want. So that's all stuff that's you gotta really prioritize the things that are important to you at that point. Mathlight says it's long but narrow, not long but narrow, so not a big footprint. Yeah, that's true. And like I said, it does come with the stand, and you can fit a figure underneath that stand, so you can fit figures all around it if you wanted to. You can fit figures in it, hanging off of it if you wanted to. I think that look a little personally that looks a little silly to me if there's a figure, unless it's like kind of like hanging on it like Mission Impossible style. But yeah, I mean it's definitely going to take up some space. You're going to have to sacrifice taking and putting other things in storage to have this out, unless you're hanging it from your ceiling, which is probably maybe a good idea to do. But also, do you want to put a almost $300 item hanging from your ceiling, and at any point it could fall and break? That gives me the willies. I don't know. I wouldn't do something like that. I have to tell myself I wouldn't hang a friggin' Hot Toys figure from the ceiling. So why would I hang that from the ceiling? Like I got to figure out something to do with where I'm going to put Galactus. I think what I'm going to have to do is, if you guys can see behind me, you see this Batman and then this Superman um, portraits. I'm gonna have to take those down. I'm putting up hanging shelves there, and I don't want to take those down, but I just don't have the room for them right now until the garage gets built. Where I'm going to take those down and put hanging shelves there, and then I'm going to put Galactus in the center, I think. But other stuff is going to have to get moved into storage then. So it's a give or take, man. You got to think about these things ahead of time. And over here, I've got like DC stuff. I've got as far as storage goes and ways to display. Like this room is still a disaster. I have to clean this. Like there's figures all over the floor right here. So I mean, there's a lot of reorganizing that's going to have to go into me setting up Galactus, but that was a choice that I made. I wanted Galactus badly, so this will be another one of those choices where I have to sacrifice other things for a larger scaled item if I decide to pick it up. I hope to see more smaller vehicles like the Claw, Devilfish, and Zartan Swamp Skier. Yeah, I think you'll get stuff like that. I love the Devilfish. Devilfishes are, I have like 4 or 5 Devilfishes, and that's, I think, the most G.I. Joe 3 3/4 inch vehicles that I have multiples of, because it's one of my favorite covers of a G.I. Joe cover too, is the cover with, was it Beachhead, Wetsuit, and what you call it? I think it's Beachhead, Wetsuit, and who was the other? There's a third one. Can't think of it. Anyway, my point being, it's one of my favorite covers, and for some reason, I don't know why, but I fell in love with the Devilfish. It's like a cool, small one-man boat that you can actually hang figures on the sides. It makes sense, and they're like shooting, and it looks so damn good, man. It looks so good. But I think Brian, I think you'll get stuff like that. I wouldn't worry about smaller stuff. That'll probably be retail. I just don't know what their plans are for other retail items, like you've got to come out with the Wolverine now. You can't come out with CoverGirl and not have a Wolverine. So would that be considered a HASLAB? Would people want that to be a HASLAB? I know I wouldn't. I don't think it's worthy to be a HASLAB. I think that's a retail item that you could fit and even have some assembly required to make that fit into a box at retail. It's essentially a one-seater anyway. So even if they scaled, like if you scaled the Wolverine down a little bit, like it doesn't have to be as the scale that it was to the figure of the 3 3/4 inch variety. You could scale it down a little bit so it's a little bit smaller because it is a one person, um, right? It was a one person vehicle, I'm pretty sure. The way I'm picturing it in my head is it was a one, yeah, it was a one man vehicle. I think they could get away with this at retail. Like, just don't make it so long. It doesn't need to be that long. But then again, like the Wolverine isn't a big priority for me. I'm just saying for the sake of CoverGirl, I think the next thing we're probably going to get is an Awe Striker because we've got if you think about it, we've got Trouble Bubbles, we've got you know a lot of Cobra vehicles too to work with. I think it makes sense also that you do have um, the Shark too. Yeah, with Deep Six, that's probably going to happen. I could see that. There's a lot more that I think GI Joe's willing to do vehicle wise. I mean, we've already got a couple motorcycles, stuff like that. So that's good. Take another sip of water. And we've even got companions and stuff like that. And I think it's easier also because they don't have to pay licensing fees for GI Joe. They own the damn thing. Like I think it's easier for them to put more in the budget, and they know that it sells. Like GI Joe is selling pretty good. Like they've had his tank was a huge success. This is now a huge success. They're going to see what people are prioritizing collection wise, and they're going to see that two Star Wars HasLabs have failed now, and I think they're going to start reassessing Star Wars. I would not be surprised. I thought we were going to get an X-wing. I don't think we're going to get an X-wing now. You know, Marvel Legends is still going to do stuff. Do what they do. They're not necessarily the line that is a priority for a lot of people. I don't think anymore. A 1/12 HasLab Sky Striker would be insane. It would be big. I've never liked the Sky Striker like that. I know I'm not trying to like upset people. It's just my preference. Um, the Sky Striker, I'm sure a lot of people want one. I think it would be entirely too big. I don't know. I'd rather have the killer whale over the Sky Striker. There's more I feel you can do with a killer whale than you can do with a Sky Striker. Because you want to be able to fit lots of figures on it. And if you're gonna killer whale, it's got multiple things that it can do. A Sky Striker is just another plane to me. But I mean, I get why people would like it. Slaughter's tank, yeah, that could be a retail one. What about the Rat Rod with Thrasher? Yeah, that could be another retail item, I think. Well, although who knows? They tried to do Engines of Vengeance, and that was essentially a vehicle. So I really like the 6 inch line, says Woodman, but I'm the only one that still wants. Sorry, I'm trying to bring that up. Still wants 1/18 scale figures and vehicles. Me too, man. I still do too. But this is what I would want if they give a 1/18 scale figures and vehicles, which I don't think that's on the platter at all. I think the 6 inch figures are selling way too well for them to even consider going back to a 1/18 scale, which is a shame. 1/18 scale, I would want all new designs. I would want all new. This is what I wanted them to do with the classifieds line. I want all new designs. I want all new characters. I want all new everything. Um, we all know the classifieds line has kind of been stuck in the 80s with 80s characters and because they're established. But if you're thinking about the future of GI Joe, if they start a 1/18 scale line with all new characters and stuff like that, it gives you the chance to feel that nostalgic run of learning about new characters and seeing them. It's great to get the same old nostalgic characters over and over again, but if you've got to eventually think of what happens after our generation is long gone. Like, is GI Joe going to survive after that with the same old stuff that we grew up with? You got to think about stuff like that. You want the line to strive and go on. Like, eventually you've got to evolve it. Like, this is great for now, but eventually you've got to think about where the line is eventually going, other than just the same old stuff over and over again. Um, I'm a plane guy, but you can't go wrong with a whale. Yeah. I think the whale would make much more sense for a HASLAB. I mean, you're not going to see something that big. I mean, a friggin' whale would have to be like the size of a table or some shit. It would be huge. I would love to see the re-release of the FSS figures at retail. I think that makes a lot of sense too. That would probably piss a lot of people off that invested in the FSS club, but I don't really care. I'm not for um, the elitist point of view with collecting, so I am all for re-releasing all of the FSS figures for people that did not get a chance to join that elite club of the FSS figures that isn't even running anymore. The Warthog was a great troop carrier for the Joes. Yeah, the Warthog could be another thing that you could do. That good solid troop carrier. The Rhino, I think, is a HasLab that should happen. I absolutely think that something like that should happen. I think the Rhino holds enough characters. And it's got a multi feature. Same thing with the Havoc. The Havoc could be another HasLab vehicle that could come out. I think I would rather have a Rhino over a Havoc. That's just me, but I don't mind the Havoc. The Havoc, a lot of people don't like it because they're like, "Oh, it looks stupid and it's funky and it doesn't make sense and there's functionality things that." I'm like, I get it, but like, there's a lot of things that don't make sense in GI Joe. So functionality wise, like, there's no rear rotor on the friggin' Dragonflies. Nobody points that out. The Thunderclap, Zorpox. The Thunderclap would be another one of those like expensive HasLabs. But that's a good pick. The Thunderclap, the Rolling Thunder for me has always been one of my favorites as far as the larger scaled ones. The Thunderclap would be awesome though. The Could you imagine like the length of the barrel? It would have to be so it would have to be like 2.5 feet long by itself. The Rhino would be cool. Yeah, the Rhino's another good pick. I like the Rhino quite a bit. Like I said, it comes with a friggin' small one-man chopper that detaches from the vehicle. It's got multifunctional features to it. It's a troop carrier. You got two drivers on there. You got a driver and a gunner. It can hold multiple things. So if they did it right and they upscaled it properly, you could hold like two figures on one side, two figures on the other. Have the helicopter still pull out of the top. Have a gunner on this side. Have a driver on the other side with canopies that open. I think it makes sense. Did I like the General? Yeah, the General's one of those. I own the General. I own one. The General is one of those, and I got a really good deal on the General with the original box too. The General is like one of those like funky things where it's like a car wreck. Like, you can't help but look at it because it's just like, what the hell did they do there? Like, what were they thinking? Like, how would this turn? Like functionality wise, you got to just separate that. You got to be like, there's no way this thing could only roll straight and just sit as a platform of such. Um, so yeah, I didn't mind the general. I just think it's like one of those ridiculous things, like the the MCC. Like the MCC could like dig underground, and it was essentially just a tackle box, a glorified tackle box, with a cockpit on it. It's another one of those like ridiculous vehicles that were just kind of cool because they were ridiculous. So, but I have an MCC and I have a General. I think the big one that everyone would want would be the Terror Drone, but that would just be so large. It would no one would be able to put that anywhere unless you're like got like a warehouse full of toys. I'm trying to think function like realistically, what else could they do? Uh I think it makes sense. If they did the proportions better, because I never liked the proportions on the original um Destro's Devastator. Um I liked the thought process with the Devastator, or not the Devastator, I'm sorry. Was that the Devastator? I'm trying to think now. Despoiler. Sorry. Despoiler, not Devastator. Devastator's an entirely different one. My brain's not working. Destro and his Despoiler could be a thing. Now, because eventually you could do a ferret. Now, I've always liked the funkiness of the ferret. I feel like it always fit. Um, well, Demon with the ferret and Destro's the spoiler. So you got to have all of those combined. I think if they did this and they did it right, you could do a HASLAB for the Demon with the ferret driver. I don't know why I said ferret. It's the Demon. The Destro's Demon, right? You do the what do you call it? Iron Grenadiers Destro. You do ferret. You do the despoiler that attaches, and you kind of make room for everybody because it was a two-seater cockpit. I think one character fit one way and the other was like north and south of each other. You make it so you could have three figures fit in there instead of two, and then you have Destro's despoiler that can attach or disattach. I've always liked that. I don't know, for some reason I always liked vehicles that have multifunctional features. The fact that it can rise up, it can go down. I don't know. There's just a lot of funkiness to it. That with having light up features, I think that would be really cool. So, and then extra tiers, like I said, you could offer um, those two, or Destro and his despoiler as a tier itself. Then offer, or do Destro his despoiler, and then you could do an Iron Grenadier as a do the traditional regular Iron Grenadier, with the Uzi and the sword. Because what I want for the regular release for Iron Grenadiers is the Pursuit of Cobra and the 50th anniversary Iron Grenadiers. And if you don't know what those are, look those up. Those are the best designs for Iron Grenadier ever. I'm sorry if anybody disagrees, but there's no way you can objectively look at the Iron Grenadiers and say, no, that's not that great of a design. If they do a vamp, they would take what did sorry, let me read this properly. They do a vamp, they would make money off of the mold. That's three vehicles. Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping. and I know it's not going to happen. I'm hoping when they do a vamp, because they're going to do a vamp and they're going to do it probably regular retail. I'm hoping it's the vamp version too. I don't really want the vamp version one, the two seater. I just don't. It's never done anything for me. I know it's like nostalgic for a lot of people. Maybe it's important to a lot of people, but for me personally, I think I want, if I'm gonna invest money in a vehicle, it's gotta have multifunctional features to it, you know? This helicopter is huge. So I understand why it's gotta be a HASLAB. A vamp is small enough where you can fit four figures into it and not have to break the bank for it and have it be a four-seater. So I don't know. But then again, the Engines of Vengeance was $350 and it didn't back. So who knows? I don't know. I think the Cobra Stinger and Joe Vamp is a must. Yeah, I think so too. I wasn't a big fan of the Cobra Stinger. I'm like, why do they have a vamp? I always wanted Cobra to be ahead of Joe. So I never wanted to see them using anything similar to the Joes. So I never had a Stinger. I had vamps, um, but I don't know. I never really liked when Cobra would use the Joe stuff. So that's why I never got into Python Patrol, like like Tiger Force. Like I actually got why the Joes would want to steal Cobra stuff because it's more advanced and use it against them. But I never got why Cobra would want to go backwards and use the Joe stuff. You know, I just never understood that. It never made sense to me. Um, one of the tiers for the demon and the despoiler could be, um, what the hell's his name? My God, I can't think of his name now. It's gonna annoy the shit out of me. Dakin. Sorry, Dakin. No, that's freaking Wolverine's. What am I talking about? You have three singers. That's cool, man. Hey, man. Like I said, if you like it, I'm not knocking it. You do you. You know. I can't think of like anybody. Dark Lawn. My God, I can't. I couldn't think of that. What's wrong with me? Dark Lawn could be a tier for that because it would just make sense. It would make perfect sense. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I never really dug the stingers for. I don't know. Just never made any sense to me, Henry. Why would you spit on your own floor? Sorry, I had to say that. Let me know if you guys know what that is a reference to. One of my favorite movies of all time. HasLab Defiant Shuttle. That'll never happen. I don't think. Zorpox. I would love that to happen. They're never making a Defiant. If they did make a Defiant, it would be 3 3/4 inch scaled. It'd be 1/18 scaled. There's no. I cannot imagine them doing. It would be so big. It would be like. It would have to be like the size of two Galactuses in height. In depth, it would have to be, I don't know, at least 3 feet in depth. Like it would have to be so. It would be ridiculous. Yeah, Voltar could work too. Voltar could be another one. Brian, that's a good pick. Yeah, maybe you get rid of the Iron Grenadier and you put Voltar. You put date Dark Lawn, and you do the spoiler with Destro as the stretch goals for the demon. But that would have to definitely be a themed year that they do the demon. They would have to do like all Iron Grenadier stuff that year. They'd probably do, Battle Force 2000 that year. And that would be way down the road. That would be way down the road because I don't think too many people like Battle Force 2000. HASLAB Dragonfly is cool, but smooth articulations, please. I'm intrigued to what you have to say. But yeah, the get rid of my flag. I'd have to get rid of my flag, Pox. I don't know if you want to get rid of your flag. I mean, what would you guys do if they came out like if next year they kind of hiatused the 6-inch line and they went to, well, I guess they did do a 3 3/4 inch. So what if they did a HASLAB flag, but it was 3 3/4 inch? They didn't re-release it. They kind of updated it, where instead of having the old megaphone thing, you could access it through an app or something like that, and you could talk through the app through the speakers on it. They get little speakers or something on it, and you could talk through the app. If they made it a little bit longer, which I'm sure a lot of people would want it to be. I'm assuming the price would be very high though, like close to like either $800 or $900 for a flag. And they would have to update it. It would have to be longer to warrant something like that. Would you get rid of your vintage flag for a new flag? And it would still be 3 3/4 inch scaled. It would still be 1/18 scaled. Would you do that? I don't have a flag, so I don't know. Depending on the price and what was involved with it, I would consider it because I mean flags go for $1,000 now. Like some of them go for 800 and they're not even close to complete. So I'm saying this to people that want a flag or have a flag. I'm not saying this to the people that don't give a shit about the flag. This is not a discussion for people that don't care about the flag. If you're one of those people, then I know there's a lot of people that don't care about the flag, and that's perfectly fine. But I'm discussing to the people that actually give a shit about it. Woodman says, I might. I might, Wabbit. I might. You wascally Wabbit. Okay, so Smooth Articulation said, hold on. HASLAB Dragonfly is cool, but it needs some cool tiers instead of just figures. Never had a flag either. So don't give a shit about the flag. Okay, well, to each their own. If you don't like the flag, that's fine. Smooth Articulation. I got to ask you this question though. What tiers would you want instead of figures? What would you add instead of figures? Am I getting the trouble bubble? Yes, I am, Zorbox. I'm gonna get one for now, and then if the price drops, I'll probably get another one. I don't want to spend $100 on 2 trouble bubbles right now. So one is enough for me for now, I think. But I would like 2. I don't need more than 2, though. I'm just kind of intrigued to see what Smooth Articulations wants instead of figures, or what he thinks would be. And I'm not saying that facetiously. I'm actually intrigued. His ideas. Like I'm trying to think what would they do instead of figures. I guess you could do some sort of like What? Well, here we go. I'll bring it up on the screen for everybody. Maybe a stretcher that would drop down and some crazy rocket shit. I mean, they've already got crazy rocket shit right here. And a stretcher that doesn't really work with an Apache helicopter. They're not gonna. I mean, you would have to. That would make sense for like the Tomahawk. The Tomahawk is a multi-seater. You could seat like 8 figures inside of it, and then 2 in the cockpit. I don't know if a stretcher would make sense for an Apache. Like, where would the stretcher go? I mean, I'm just thinking functionally. Like, where you can't just you're not just going to hang the stretcher from the. That's not safe. You want to bring the person up into the helicopter. So, like I said, I was hoping for a Tomahawk. I think a Tomahawk would have made while it's taking up even more space, it would have made a lot more sense. The Tomahawk would have been a lot more in price, probably like $400 or $500. So I mean, I think that the rocket stuff that it already comes with, like, I mean, what I don't know what else you would need. It comes with, I don't know. Personally, I'd rather have the figures. I'm just being transparent with you. I'd rather have the figures. I don't know what else you would actually include. And plus, you're going to want the character representation. And on top of that, if you're trying to, there's going to be a lot of people that buy multiples of these and try to sell some of the stuff that they don't want off. It's easier to sell figures off than it is pieces of a helicopter that you don't necessarily want nor need. And don't forget, when you get this thing, try to keep this in mind. When you do get this thing, there's going to be pieces that you don't use, and all that stuff's going to go into a baggie somewhere. So you can't display everything on it. Some stuff's going to have to be put away. So if you have like more rocket stuff, like it's just more stuff that's going to get put away. You got to make sacrifices some way in your display and how you display the thing. Not everything can be displayed all at once, There's so I don't mind the figures because the figures can at least stand with the helicopter. So, and figures at the end of the day, I'm not hating on your idea. I'm just saying figures at the end of the day will sell better than attachments. Because they are, I mean, there were people already complaining about the HISS tank and how the HISS tank should have just offered more figures and less attachments. Like a lot of people were like the attachments should have already been included with the HISS tank, as opposed to people. A lot of people want figures because they're easy to sell off. You can make money off of a figure. Anything would be cool. Hold on one second. I'll bring it up. Anything would be cool. Just give more stuff, and safe doesn't matter in GI Joe land because nobody dies. Well, I mean, it depends on which GI Joe you're watching. Yeah, figures are cool enough, I guess, and stickers suck. Yes, I agree. Stickers suck. I hate them. HASLAB should be all painted. I agree. HASLAB should be all painted. I totally agree with both those statements. But it doesn't matter what, I guess, if you're talking about the Sunbow cartoon, yeah, nobody dies. But if you're talking about like some of the animated movies, like there's a whole bunch of them died. Like Resolute, there's stakes in that. So, but I feel you. In the comics, even the friggin' Saw Viper takes out like 5 people. So, what does that big boy? What was that big boy called? The Raven? Yes, the Raven would be a really good pick. That would be a huge, like, the Raven was one of the few big vehicles I had as a kid. Um, yeah, that would be a really good pick. That's a good one, Bluntworth. Blunt. Blut Wolf. Sorry. Is it pronounced Ian Blut Wolf? Am I saying that right? I don't want to say somebody's name wrong. I feel like a dipshit if I say somebody's name wrong. But yeah, the Raven would be cool. It would definitely be a really long. It would be extremely long vehicle. It would probably be the length of like a table. It would be cool though, you know. It makes it. It's cool to discuss stuff like this because you really do wonder what the future is for stuff like big vehicles that just simply that you can't sell them retail anymore. You can't do it. They won't do it. Um, you, I mean, I you there. I mean, I guess there's arguments both sides. I mean, you do look at like you do look at the what's it called? Can't think of his stupid name. The Batwing from the 12-inch figure that's sitting at retail. And let me see how big that is. Who the hell makes that? What's wrong with me right now? I can't think of anything. Sitting there. I mean, there's like 3 sitting at my local Target. Yeah, it's a 27-inch Batwing. And it while it does seat 12-inch figures, I mean, you can make it work. Oh God, what's wrong with me right now? I'm gonna slap myself when I figure out. It's the DC Comics one. 12, it's like 27 inches. Now, there's not the level of detail and stuff like that in it. You would have to customize something like that to get the level of detail that you want. What the hell makes it? Anyway, it's this one. I'm just going to screen share. Stop with the bullshit, Anthony. I'm sure you guys are all familiar with this. This is the 27-inch Batwing, not the McFarlane one. But I mean, they're selling those are 12-inch figures, I think. So I mean, if they can sell a 27-inch vehicle at retail, I mean, I don't see why they can't sell a 27-inch figure or vehicle at retail as well, you know? So, I mean, I guess that's the case to be made is if Hasbro is willing to do that. You know, some companies like, you know, Spin Masters, thank you. Yes, Sorpox, thank you. Thank you. You saved the day again. If Spin Masters is willing to do something like that, would you? Okay, here's the next question. Here entails the next question. Would you? Don't worry, I'm going to get to your comment. Ein. Okay, sorry. Got you. Ein. I won't mess that up again. Sorry. I'll get to your comment, Brian and Ein, in a second. But I have a question for you guys. Would you prefer to have a HasLab product the way it is, or would you prefer retail items with less sculpt, less detail, less functionality, but they're big ticket items? So like would you prefer to have a like a let's see, what like a Conquest, the Conquest, right? The Conquest is a little bit of a smaller vehicle, right? It's a smaller plane. You could make that out of like around 30 inches in length, right? Would you prefer that to just have the opening cockpit, fit the figure inside, have sculpted detail on there, but it's going to be minimal, kind of like this Batwing? Would you prefer something like that, or prefer like the accoutrement that comes with like a HASLAB, like more detail, more paint, light up features, stuff like that? I think it depends on the vehicle. I think there's a multi answers to that, but let me get to Brian's. Brian says Serpentor is dead when I get my hiss, and if they do the Saw Viper, it's a wrap for some Joes. Yeah, man, I'm excited for the Saw Viper. I'm really kind of pissed off that they made the Range Vipers a Walmart exclusive. That really just annoyed the hell out of me, and I'm still mad that my boy Shadow Tracker is going to be a Walmart exclusive too. It's going to set me off if I can't get a hold of that figure for retail price. I'm just going to be there's nothing worse than a Walmart exclusive. Walmart has been the bane of my existence since the DC Universe Classics line. For any type of exclusive ever, they are the worst store to ever stock anything, whether it's online. They're running out of stock online for pre-orders. Like it's asinine. I can't stand it. But yeah, I feel you with the Saw Viper. Hopefully, they make him a regular widely released item. Ein says a friend of mine in the neighborhood had it, and I was in envy of it. Yeah, I mean, I get it. I get it. I totally get it. Smooth Articulation says, I'll get one Dragonfly, but I wonder if the included figures will be numbered. Haven't read all of the details yet. Maybe I want to say with the I don't know if they're going to be numbered. I have no idea. We'll have to see what happens with the Hiss tank, because whatever happens with the Hiss tank is going to happen with that. Now, the only reason I'm going to say that they don't number it, and this is just my guess, is because of the kind of I guess the more exclusivity of getting a HasLab. They won't number it, so your numbers aren't off with the regular retail line. So I would guess that they won't number it, just because from that type of standpoint, you don't need to number them. Maybe they give them like, what would make sense actually, since if they don't number them, just have them like A B C D or A B B C C D D. You could do that if you do instead of numbering them, letter them. So at least that you can set them up. Here's my A, here's B, C, D. They could do that. But I don't know if they're going to do something like that. I don't know if they're going to be numbered. They could also do like a if they do number them, like what, I don't even know what number we're on because I don't save any of the packaging. Let's say they're on 72, right? And that's going to be the Hiss tank's number. You could do like 72A, 72B, 72C. So you could fit those in with the regular line. That's what I would do. It would make sense, but no, they will be numbered. There you go. Brian's already said he's going to be numbered. I personally wouldn't number them, but that's just me. Whatever. But thank you, Brian, for letting us know. HasLab would be my preference since they pretty much everyone has a chance to get one. They do have a chance to get one, but not everyone can afford it or fit into their collection room. Tired of never seeing stuff at stores. Hey, preaching to the choir, buddy. I'm preaching to the choir. I feel you. They number things for the completionists, unfortunately. Yeah, I feel you, Woodman. Yeah. You agree with the lettering or yeah, something else? Yeah, I think that makes sense. Raider says, Skew Raider, sorry. Skew Raider says they did say they would number them on the stream. Yes, facts. Okay. Um, so then I'm assuming that the his tank will be numbered as well. So for the completionists out there, both HasLabs will be numbered. So if you didn't get the his tank, then your numbers are going to be off. I'm hoping not for people that are completionists because, maybe this is the only line for some people. I wish that was the case for me. I like too many things. There's too many cool things that I like. I don't know. I wish I wish it would not be that. I wish I could just like one thing and make my life easier on myself, you know. But yeah. So all right. So we're about at the 2 hour mark. I think I've said everything I can say. Maybe down the road when the all the tiers unlock, I'll do another video about it and just kind of discussing what they've unlocked and stuff like that. I mean, let's check it right now again. I'm going to check it just again and let's just see what numbers we're at right now. All right, refresh. And we are at 10,296. So it's gone up now. It's still going up. People want that ripcord and they're going to get them. Yeah, I think that's going to be it though for now. For the stream, I think I'll end it here. I display the art, don't care about the numbers. Yeah. To each their own, man. Yeah, smash the like button if you guys want to. Hit the like button. It does help the channel grow. I'm trying to get to 5,000. We're almost there. We're under 100. We only need under 100 now to get to 5,000. That would be a huge coup. If we get to 6,000 before the end of the year, that'd be even better, But it's been a pleasure talking to you all. And like I said, even though we have, might have different point of views throughout the stream, that's okay. It's all about variety, right? Yeah, you guys have a great day. Thank you to everybody. Thank you to Skew Raider. Thank you to Smooth Articulations. Thank you to Woodman as always, and thank you for modding Woodman. Ein Blut Wolf, thank you for hanging out, buddy. Brian King, as always, thank you for popping in. Zorpox, you are the OG of OGs, bro. Mav Flight 75, thanks for popping in, bud. I appreciate you. And thanks for being a part of the conversation. It was a lot of fun talking about this. A lot of cool things to think about as far as the future of the brand too. It's clearly doing well. Star Wars Squawk Box. thanks for hanging out, man. I appreciate you. The Sith Fire 30. Thanks for popping in. Richie M. Hey man. Thanks for popping in, bud. And hanging out. And I think that's everybody. We talked about the Marvels wave. That was just, like I said, if you want to check it out, it's on IGN.com. You can go check it out. All the images are right there. Wasn't too impressed with the wave, to be honest with you. But yeah, thank you to everybody for hanging out. Brian, really quick, says, I just checked Walmart and they still haven't shipped the Retro Zartan and Storm Shadow. Yeah, that's weird, man. They've been like weird about shipping stuff lately and release dates, and I don't know what the hell's going on with Target. Like Ant-Man was supposed to, the Target exclusive Ant-Man was supposed to be released like a week ago, and it's just now shipping, and then like some people's stuff isn't shipping and it's just sitting on the pegs, and people are finding them in stores before their stuff shit. I don't know what's going on with Target. I never do. The same thing with Walmart. Those are two stores that are so bipolar, paranoid, schizophrenic in their sales for products. So who knows? I wish you all the best in luck, Brian, in getting those two figures, but hopefully. Walmart is notorious, at least in my area, for stocking stuff last minute, like brand new product last minute. It's so annoying. But yeah. But good luck on the hunt, man. Good luck on getting those. Hopefully they ship soon and nothing crazy happens for you. Um, but yeah, that'll bring this to a close. I hope you guys enjoyed the discussion. You guys are awesome. Like I said, hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't subscribed. I hope you guys enjoy the content, and I got to get going on some of these reviews, man. It's just been a little overwhelming with what's been going on. Now I got stuff with family stuff going on back home in Buffalo, and it's hard being away here. Stuff going on with my dad and stuff, so it's been kind of tough to get stuff done. I'm not gonna lie, that with work going on, but I am trying. I am definitely trying. I'm not just saying I am. I'm trying to get stuff, some more reviews done because I do still enjoy doing them. Smooth Articulation says he got his Zartan the other day, so it should be shipping soon. So there's light at the end of the tunnel right there. So hopefully they ship your stuff soon there, Brian. But yeah, you guys have been awesome. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, and thanks so much for joining the live stream here. And thank you so much for including yourselves in the conversation. I appreciate you all. Hope you have a great day. Enjoy your weekend. I'm going to try and get a review up for the weekend, and I'll see you guys on the flip side.